Okay, guys. Today I'm going to be going over a few agencies that are actually involved in our national security. So, uh, they all fall under actual the Department of Homeland Security, DHS for short. So, uh, it has over 22 federal organizations under their umbrella. So that's a lot of employees, and that's a lot of actual. Well, that's a lot of politics. It's a lot of politics, to tell you the truth. And and the ones I'm going to be mentioning, which include the IRS and the DA, they can all actually work together, um, intertwine to actually investigate and fight corruption. So it's no longer just internal affairs, the inspector general. No, these can actually team up to investigate any type of corruption, and this includes the IRS and the DEA. So 22 actual individual agencies. The first one I'm going to bring up is ICE. I've done a video already on ICE, and basically they're in place to actually uh, prosecute, um, mainly aimed at human trafficking and smuggling organizations. And they'll leave that in a broad sense, smuggling of anything. So it's pretty broad. So for their actual description. And the next one is actually an organization that's actually fairly new. It's barely been around since 2003. So these were actually two different agencies that they mixed and put together. And the first one was originally Immigration and Naturalization Services. They're the ones that actually they were the ones that would actually render all the paperwork for you to come in here legally and all the paperwork to actually deport an individual. So now they're actually, they got mixed in with the customs uh, side of the actual port. So you had these two individual agencies that are now one, and they're called, U.S. Customs Services merged with immigration. So they are Customs Border Protection, not to be confused with Border Patrol. So Customs Border Protection is now one integrated agency that it actually put together from customs to immigration. And they actually run and they're actually in charge of uh, the legal ports of entry throughout the United States. So if there's a legal entry, they're the ones that are actually in charge. The U.S. Coast Guard is actually the one that enforces U.S. immigration laws at sea. So for them, you hardly ever hear of them actually uh, processing what they find out in off our coast, for the fact that they will actually return them back to their native country via the vessel that they're actually in, or via their own vessels and helicopters. So they actually deport their actual but they actually uh, get at the actual ocean. They'll send them back to the actual their place of departure. There you go. And they also counter drugs, so they also find a lot of cocaine out there too. So, and um, and the actual border patrol is the one that actually uh, fills in that actual space that people try to come in through the border illegally. They're actually the ones that actually have jurisdiction over that part of the actual fence, the actual border, and that's for anything, for terrorists, for weapons, for contraband, anything that would actually come in through in a illegal manner or an entry without inspection. That's what the border patrol will actually conduct. But the border patrol also has a lot of different resources. They have the horse unit ATVs, They also have the boat units. They also, they have actual what you would call like off-road type of like dune buggies and stuff. They have that type of actual, and they also have Blackhawks. Also, the Border Patrol actually uh, mans temporary and they manned uh, permanent actual checkpoints. And uh, from the actual fence into the United States, it's about a 20-mile radius that a federal agency can actually go into your property. They cannot go into your home or any of your actual buildings, but they can actually use of your land to get to a certain point to get to a certain group. So they do have that authorization. They cannot actually search. They can actually go into your actual buildings, your structures, your outhouses. They're not allowed to do that without an actual warrant, but they can actually go onto your property to gain access to whatever they're actually investigating. And they actually have to be investigated. They just can't go into your property because it's convenient. That's not how it works. And as for checkpoints, in California, there's certain permanent ones, but they can also actually set up uh, temporary ones as the government actually fills suit. You know what I mean? And that's thanks to the actual Patriot Act that it was actually signed. Actually, it was actually signed again. Because it expired, but we were too worried about Justin Bieber appearing in court from his last DUI, so that kind of blew over the actual signing of the renewal of the Patriot Act that actually can put checkpoints wherever the government fits it needs the actual checkpoint. And to be honest with you, when you get to them checkpoints, um, that officer should be actually reading you your actual Miranda rights from the get-go, because the fact that from the start he'll start asking you actual questions that could actually incriminate you, that can actually have you arrested or detained. So honestly, he uh, they should be reading your Miranda rights, and you should be quiet because of the fact that you're going to be answering questions that can actually incriminate you for lying, incriminate you for skirting around an actual true answer. So, but you know, we let that one slip by, and unfortunately, they can set up shop anywhere now because of the actual Patriot Act. And now for the Department of Justice, which has U.S. Attorney General, U.S. attorneys. There is over 90 actual attorneys that are stationed throughout our country, including our territories, and they're actually in place for the fact that they need to be readily available because of the fact that the Department of Justice has jurisdiction over alien smuggling, and they actually consider that an organized criminal organization. So therefore, they will fall under the RICO Act, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act. So that RICO Act, the one the feds always use, the FBI uses, uh, they're actually classified as that. So therefore, um, they're in place and they actually have the support. And that's where the FBI actually comes in too, just for that act also. So that's how uh, the FBI falls into human smuggling, but does not say anything about actual contraband or actual drugs. And I just did a video a few days ago regarding why is the FBI conducting counter drug operations. Um, I'm still waiting for an answer. So as of for human smuggling, the FBI still uh, has some sort of say for the fact of the RICO Act. And um, for another agency is the Bureau of Diplomatic Security, the U.S. State Department. They're the ones that would actually handle international kidnappings from the U.S. citizen kidnappings. They're the ones that actually take care of that, take care of hostages situations. That's the State Department. And a big job of a big actually task for them is to actually investigate passport and visa fraud. These documents are worth a lot of money, and they're actually in charge of investigating the actual uh, the trades. I mean, the actual the actual the the fraud, and it's widely a worldwide problem. Because there are a lot of good counterfeiters out there. And the last actual agency I'm going to actually mention, it's rarely ever talked about. If not, it's never actually talked about, and uh, a it holds a no law enforcement power, believe it or not. But they're still sworn in. They still have credentials, and they still are armed. But it would be the Bureau for International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, and basically they're there to help out agencies develop policies and programs, which includes high-tech equipment, technical support, and training. And also, um, back in my day, they filled stations. They actually filled slots for agents that were still going through the academy. And once they reach their actual station, um, this actual bureau will just hop onto the next station where their next assignment. So they're actually there to combat international narcotic traffickings and other crimes, including human smuggling. So um, that's about it regarding these actual agencies. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.